Good morning, Professor Deans, head of universities, those people who are participating as decision makers. I don't know, it's still in the morning, so I'm correct to say good morning. I'm presenting a paper of one of our students who just graduated last year. I'm not the only one. The intellectual property there is for our student, and I was supervising the student with we are three in this paper. And I would like to just say we started our research question of this paper is, in essence, what are the main factors perceived to affect entrepreneurial growth in the South African petroleum wholesale in the downstream sector? That is what informed the study. It was the research question, which in other words, what are the factors that affects entrepreneurial growth in South African petroleum wholesale? I know that many will then talk about load shedding, and we say it is a serious matter. The petroleum sector is a serious matter. It's dominated by big organizations. And the secondary research section, this question was, what are the main reasons for the poor entrepreneurial growth in the petroleum wholesale? And also, what are the opportunities? Are there opportunities for the SMEs in the petroleum sector? Can the ordinary person who is interested in joining petroleum sector join the sector? Our final research was constant next year. Was to investigate reasons for poor growth in the business sector. I think I've already spoken about that. And to determine the vertical integration of the major oil companies. And our introduction. We realized that small and medium-sized enterprise are the drivers of economic growth. They are job creators and mainly involved in entrepreneurship. The SME sector has an important standing to the South African economy. It offers about 60% of employment, which accounts to 91% of all formal businesses entities, and underwrites around 57% of South Africa's GDP. For that reason, there is a growing attention from the policymakers, development agencies, and researchers in the small business sector. As entrepreneurship is critical in the progress of an economy, with high SMEs contributing to the creation of employment and economic development. Yet we still see SMEs in South Africa continue to suffer from a wide range of barriers that are hindering growth and which negatively impact South Africa's sustainable development. Regardless of their low economic importance, the growth rate of SMEs in South Africa is exceptionally very low. I would take for granted that Prof. Fatoki explained to you the difference between SMEs, that we have small, medium, and micro. The paper makes several contributions to the body of knowledge. Among other things, it contributes by encouraging industry and government to invest in the development of small businesses. And we actually say that this can be achieved by approaching enterprise development from a collaborative. In other words, if small businesses collaborate with big businesses. Now, what are factors that are affecting the petroleum sector? The study has investigated that there is high performance in Africa are commonly driven by two fundamental aspects. In other words, the socio-cultural context. And secondly, we can say it also is inadequate managerial skills. While many studies emphasize the factors hampering the growth of early stage, such as lack of access. When we talk about SMEs, normally we talk about those that are at the startup. They come to the sector not because they are drawn by factors of competition or lucrative, but they are drawn because of survival. They join, they don't have managerial skills, they don't have finances, they don't have, but at the end of the day, you need to put something on the table for the children. For that reason, most of them, they join the sector. Now, in petroleum, you find that it's monopolized by big companies. SMEs, poor, those that are poor, they cannot get access to markets because they don't have what it takes. Sometimes they don't even know how to read and write. But they just see it as something that they can provide for a living. The methodology that was used there, in order to understand, we used, maybe let me just go straight, that it was a qualitative approach. A sampling, it was a semi-structured questionnaires. And what the student did then, interviewed the most people that mattered was South African Petroleum Institute, Department of Energy, those that are playing a real role in the petroleum sector. Those that were defined by the big roles, decision makers, were the ones that she interviewed. And total number of people that were interviewed, she had intended to interview 25, but her saturation point was at 12. So the results therefore showed that the main factors that are perceived to affect entrepreneurial growth in South African petroleum wholesale downstream are such that we look at policy and regulatory environment. How do we form the policy? Who are the policy makers in the sector? Cost of operation. What are the marketing structure? All these things are barriers. You can see competitive environment, infrastructure, knowledge and skills, and access to finance. They were taken as a major role players or as barriers to access the petroleum sector. Opportunities, storage facilities. Do we have storage facilities to store? What is the import market? Do we import oil from other countries? Distribution, how is that distributed? You can see that the factors that are here, they are exclusive in nature for a small, for an SME to be able to be involved in such distribution. How do you distribute it when they don't even have managerial skills? And what are the reasons behind poor entrepreneurial growth? As I said, factors that really make the SMEs in the petroleum growth. It's policy, competitive environment, access to market, knowledge, findings. It was very clear that the oil measures are key. Structuring is very difficult. Finding support that people should be using accommodation. It was that this model should create competitive advantage for SMEs. Future research, we need policies in place that are inclusive. Limitation, the study was just in Gauteng. We cannot assume that it is all results. It was not for the whole country, a certain sector or a state in South Africa. That's where the research was conducted. Thank you.
Thanks.